Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is the Upriver Crawfish, and I'm your host, Sankar, bringing you another war update, the Ethiopia war update. Today is Friday, December 17th. I decided today to start off with the overview of the whole of Ethiopia instead of zooming in and then zooming out. So this is Ethiopia. The war areas is around here. The pink is the Ethiopian military. This deeper gray is the Ethiopian military in Tigray region. This is the Tigray region where TPLF is. This green area is the TPLF areas that they seized outside of Tigray. Uh, this is Addis Ababa. This is how far Addis Ababa is. The TPLF used to be somewhere around here, but then they got pushed back. All right. So now we earlier in the week we woke up with the news that the TPLF had retook Gashena and Lalibela. Right. They had retook Gashena, this area, and Lalibela. And at the time, if you listen to my previous update on the situation at the time, it was puzzling to me as to why the TPLF was going west. This is all Amhara territory. This is area that the TPLF that they don't like the TPLF. They don't like the TPLF in these areas. So my question was, it was puzzling why they were pushing west instead of pushing down south or pushing east so as to go towards Djibouti to shut off the trade route between Ethiopia and Djibouti, because that would actually put pressure on the Ethiopian government economically. But I had speculated then that probably the only reason why they were doing this was maybe at the time they could not go back, they could not pull back to Tigray. They also were not able to go east, and they're not able to go south. But what would make it such that they can, unless they were put into a cauldron, and that's what I'm confirming to you guys today. They are trapped. They are trapped like a rat. These TPLF terrorists have been trapped. Earlier in the week, the news was that the news coming out of Ethiopian TV was that the TPLF forces, all forces south of Kobo, the town of Kobo, were trapped. And at the time, I was wondering why the forces south of Kobo. Does it mean that they have taken Kobo? Well, at the time, they had not taken Kobo, but the Ethiopian government had fire control over this highway. I think it's the A1 highway or A2. I'm not so sure about the name of the highway. But this is Kobo, the town of Kobo. The Ethiopian government had taken control of this road, had fire control of this road earlier this week. Now it is confirmed that the with pictures that the Ethiopian government have taken Kobo. So really, all of the forces south of Kobo are cut off. They can't go up to Mekele, back into Tigrayan territory. So that's the situation around Kobo. It's also being confirmed that the Ethiopian military has retaken the town of Mersa. Right, so that means they're tightening the noose around around the TPLF neck. There is Mersa. So the TPLF up north, they in Kobo, they blocked the route, and all the forces south of there are now trapped. Now they took over Mersa. Again, that means they tightening the noose. On at Gashena and Lalibela, actually at Gashena, not Lalibela, the situation around Lalibela, I haven't heard much since the TPLF retook Lalibela. But around Gashena, the situation is unclear because there is heavy fighting there. The TPLF keeps trying to push west. From my sources, what's going on is that TPLF and the government are in back channels conversation for them to let these forces return to Tigray. But the government said that they can return to Tigray if they leave all their weapons, all their weapons, and then they should go back. They can go back. Furthermore, the TPLF has been taking in areas. They have been looting, looting in Amhara, and they caused a lot of destruction in the Amhara region. So they've been looting a lot in the region. Now they're probably looting because they are trapped, or just to cause mayhem. So they're pushed into Amhara region. They only make sense under certain conditions. One, because they can't go anywhere else, they want to push more into Amhara to use it as a bargaining chip, or they're pushing there just to get resources to keep them up during this siege. So those are the situation that you can see. Now, some propaganda channels will tell you that because they took Gashena and Lalibela, so the TPLF is enjoying victory. No, they're not. If they were enjoying victory, they would be going down south, and they would be going east. They're not. So when you're reading between the lines, don't pay attention to that nonsense. There's no strategic reason of winning the war for why the TPLF is going to go west. There's no strategic reason, except if they want to collect, if they see resources there that they can collect to hold them up in a cauldron. But if that's the reason why they're going west, then that means they're in trouble. Now, I will say though, TPLF being a tough force, when you put a military force in a cauldron, that means they're going to fight harder. They're going to fight harder and it's not going to be easy to just, because basically they can't go anywhere else, right? So they have to fight. It's fight or surrender. And if they don't want to surrender, then they're going to fight hard. So the Ethiopian government have to make sure that when they tighten that noose, they have strong forces to keep it tight, because those guys might want to try to break out. So Mersa and Kobo has been taken over and recaptured by the Ethiopian government. It's confirmed. And Girana, I don't know where Girana is. I'm not going to try to look for it today, but they're being they're trapped. They're in a cauldron. The rats have been trapped. And another way you can tell or read between the lines is because now the U.S. is complaining now. They condemn the violation of human rights by Ethiopian forces. And they're pushing more now to pressure the Ethiopian government through the Security Council to try to find a peaceful resolution or ceasefire. The Ethiopian government is actually refusing, and they have to. The TPLF cannot be a thorn in the Ethiopian government's side. They cannot challenge the authority like that. For the Ethiopian government to accept anything than a surrender from the TPLF would be a defeat for the Ethiopian government, and that could cause whole lot of problems for the government. So the government actually have no choice. When people talk about Abiy Ahmed and and Nobel Peace Prize. First of all, I don't even respect those stupid prices, as they are only given by the Western people, Westerners, to people who they want to toe their line. So that's the first thing. But secondly, he's leading the government. You can't challenge the rate of the rate of the government and then expect them to sit and agree with that. No. From my friends, speaking with my friends, the TPLF, I already knew they were a mafia organization, but the guy told me that one of the things they do when they were in power is that anybody doing business there had to give them a part of their businesses. And sometimes they will, if you give them even part of your business, or you don't give them part of your business, they will squeeze you till and kill people to take over their businesses. These guys operate like a mafia, and the U.S. like them, of course. Nothing surprised there. I already knew how bad they were in the 1980s when the Ethiopian farming was happening. People thought that it was because of the dirt. It was not because of the dirt. It was because of the TPLF. They exploited that crisis and got the money that were given for the Tigrayan people to get food. The TPLF took it and used it for weapons to fight against the Derg, while their own Tigrayans were suffering. They were in power for 30 years. They never even put running water into Tigray, into Mekelle. It was after Abiy Ahmed came to power that running water went to Tigray. Right? These guys, they are lower than pawns come. That's what they are. But in any case, they're losing the war now. We'll see what their next move is. And the U.S. was complaining because of attacks that the of the air attacks that about 6 attacks from drones and airplanes came from the Ethiopian government in this area. I think somewhere around this area, north of the area outside of Tigray, there were some drone strikes, about 6 or so. My bet is that the Tigrayan forces outside of this cauldron was trying to push and break through so as to free up their forces. So as they probably tried to assemble, that's why the bombing was in this area, sticking out their vehicles. There are lots of there are pictures with lots of Tigrayan tank and Tigrayan trucks that were hit with drone or aircraft fire. So good news for the Ethiopian government. They need to keep up the fight, but they have to understand the TPLF is a stubborn little force, little rats. They need to keep so they need to stay strong and tighten the noose on them. So this map is going to update soon. I'm sure they need just more. They probably tend to look to Western media before, but it's going to come. There is no hiding now from the fact. There is no reason why they're pushing west. It just makes no sense, right? This is the Upriver Crawfish. I'm your host, Sankara. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.